This brings us to the end of the first module of the Google Cloud Computing Foundations course. Let's do a quick summary. You started by exploring cloud computing. Cloud computing is a way of using information technology that has these 5 equally important traits: on-demand self-service, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and measured service. Next, you compared and contrasted physical, virtual, and cloud architectures. You explored how cloud computing is a continuation of a long-term shift in how computing resources are managed, looking back through 3 different waves: co-location, virtualized data centers, and container-based architecture, and Google's distinct positioning to propel organizations into the next wave of cloud computing. After that, you learned to differentiate between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. From there, you were introduced to Google Cloud Compute, storage, big data, and ML services. And finally, you examined the Google network and how it powers cloud computing.
Welcome to Module 2 of the Google Cloud Computing Foundations course, Start with a Solid Platform. In this section of the course, we'll explore different ways that you can interact with Google Cloud. This means that you'll explore the Google Cloud Console, examine how projects are the basis for enabling and using Google Cloud services, identify how billing works in Google Cloud, install and configure the Cloud SDK, recognize the different use cases for using Cloud Shell and the Cloud Shell code editor, explore how APIs work, and manage Google Cloud services from a mobile device. The module agenda follows the objectives. It begins with the Google Cloud Console, then continues on to explore projects, Google Cloud billing options, installing and configuring the Cloud SDK, Cloud Shell, 2 hands-on labs, the Google Cloud APIs, and the Cloud mobile app. The module concludes with a short quiz and a summary of the topics covered. Let's get started. Let's begin with the Google Cloud Console. There are actually 4 ways to access and interact with Google Cloud. The list includes the Google Cloud Console, the Cloud SDK and Cloud Shell, the APIs, and the Cloud mobile app. We'll explore all 4 of these options in this module, but focus on the console to start. The Google Cloud Console, which is Google Cloud's graphical user interface, GUI, helps you deploy, scale, and diagnose production issues in a simple web-based interface. With the console, you can easily find your resources, check their health, have full management control over them, and set budgets to control how much you spend on them. The console also provides a search facility to quickly find resources and connect to instances through SSH, which is a secure shell protocol in the browser. To access the console, navigate to console.cloud.google.com. The console is used to access and use resources. Resources are organized in projects. To understand this organization, let's explore where projects fit in the greater Google Cloud resource hierarchy. This hierarchy is made up of 4 levels, and starting from the bottom up, they are resources, projects, folders, and an organization node. At the first level are resources. These represent virtual machines, cloud storage buckets, tables in BigQuery, or anything else in Google Cloud. Resources are organized into projects, which sit on the second level. Projects can be organized into folders or even subfolders. These sit at the third level. And then, at the top level, is an organization node, which encompasses all the projects, folders, and resources in your organization. Let's spend a little more time on the second level of the resource hierarchy, projects. Projects are the basis for enabling and using Google Cloud services, like managing APIs, enabling billing, adding and removing collaborators, and enabling other Google services. Each project is a separate compartment, and each resource belongs to exactly one project. Projects can have different owners and users because they're built and managed separately. Each Google Cloud project has 3 identifying attributes: a project ID, a project name, and a project number. The project ID is a globally unique identifier assigned by Google that cannot be changed after creation. It's immutable. Project IDs are used in different contexts to inform Google Cloud of the exact project to work with. The project names, however, are user-created. They don't have to be unique, and they can be changed at any time, so they are not immutable. Google Cloud also assigns each project a unique project number. It's helpful to know that these Google-generated numbers exist, but we won't explore them much in this course. They're mainly used internally by Google Cloud to keep track of resources. So, how are you expected to manage projects? Google Cloud has the Resource Manager tool, designed to programmatically help you do just that. It's an API that can gather a list of all the projects associated with an account, create new projects, update existing projects, and delete projects. It can even recover projects that were previously deleted, and can be accessed through the RPC API and the REST API. The third level of the Google Cloud resource hierarchy is folders. You can use folders to group projects under an organization in a hierarchy. For example, your organization might contain multiple departments, each with its own set of Google Cloud resources. Folders lets you group these resources on a per-department basis. Folders give teams the ability to delegate administrative rights so that they can work independently. To use folders, you must have an organization node, which is the topmost resource in the Google Cloud hierarchy. Everything else attached to that account goes under this node, which includes projects, folders, and other resources. The next topic is Google Cloud billing. Billing is established at the project level. This means that when you define a Google Cloud project, you link a billing account to it. This billing account is where you'll configure all your billing information, including your payment option. A billing account can be linked to 0 or more projects, but projects that aren't linked to a billing account can only use free Google Cloud services. Billing accounts are charged automatically and invoiced every month or at every threshold limit. Billing sub-accounts can be used to separate billing by project. Some Google Cloud customers who resell Google Cloud services use sub-accounts for each of their own clients. You're probably thinking, how can I make sure I don't accidentally run up a big Google Cloud bill? We provide a few tools to help. You can define budgets at the billing account level or at the project level. A budget can be a fixed limit, or it can be tied to another metric, for example, a percentage of the previous month's spend. To be notified when costs approach your budget limit, you can create an alert. For example, with a budget limit of $20,000 and an alert set at 90%, you'll receive a notification alert when your expenses reach $18,000. Alerts are generally set at 50%, 90%, and 100%, but can also be customized. Reports is a visual tool in the Google Cloud Console that lets you monitor expenditure based on a project or services. Finally, Google Cloud also implements quotas, which are designed to prevent the overconsumption of resources because of an error or a malicious attack, protecting both account owners and the Google Cloud community as a whole. There are 2 types of quotas, rate quotas and allocation quotas. Both are applied at the project level. Rate quotas reset after a specific time. For example, by default, the GKE service implements a quota of 1,000 calls to its API from each Google Cloud project every 100 seconds. After that 100 seconds, the limit is reset. Allocation quotas govern the number of resources you can have in your projects. For example, by default, each Google Cloud project has a quota allowing it no more than 5 virtual private cloud networks. Although projects will start with the same quotas, you can change some of them by requesting an increase from Google Cloud support. If you're interested in estimating cloud computing costs on Google Cloud, you can try out the Google Cloud Pricing Calculator at cloud.google.com/products/calculator. Now let's explore the Cloud Software Development Kit, SDK, which lets users run Google Cloud command line tools from a local desktop. The Cloud SDK is a set of command line tools that you can use to manage resources and applications hosted on Google Cloud. These include the G-Cloud CLI, which provides the main command line interface for Google Cloud products and services, GSUtil, which lets you access cloud storage from the command line, and BQ, a command line tool for BigQuery. When installed, all of the tools within the Cloud SDK are located under the bin directory. To install the Cloud SDK to your desktop, go to cloud.google.com/SDK and select the operating system for your desktop. This will download the SDK. Then follow the instructions specific to your operating system. After the installation is complete, you'll need to configure the Cloud SDK for your Google Cloud environment. Run the gcloud init command. You'll be prompted for information including your login credentials, default project, and default region and zone. The next way to access and interact with Google Cloud is Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell provides command line access to cloud resources directly from a browser. It's a Debian-based virtual machine with a persistent 5 GB home directory, which makes it easy to manage Google Cloud projects and resources. With Cloud Shell, the Cloud SDK gcloud command and other utilities are always installed, available, up to date, and fully authenticated. To start Cloud Shell, navigate to console.cloud.google.com and click the Activate Cloud Shell icon on the toolbar. This will activate the Cloud Shell terminal, which will open in the lower portion of the window. From the terminal window, you can launch the Cloud Shell code editor, which will open Cloud Shell in a new page. With the Cloud Shell code editor, you can edit files inside your Cloud Shell environment in real time within the web browser. This tool is convenient for working with code-first applications or container-based workloads because you can easily edit files without needing to download and upload changes. You can also use text editors from the Cloud Shell command prompt. It's time for the first hands-on lab of the course. In the lab titled A Tour of Google Cloud Hands-on Labs, you'll get hands-on practice with the Google Cloud Console. During this lab, you'll get an introduction to the Quick Labs platform and be able to identify key features of a lab environment and access the Google Cloud Console with specific credentials.